want to start off with this speech that I didn't get a chance to talk about at the Critics' Choice Awards. And before we get into that, some of my favorites, Ted Lasso won. In addition to Ted Lasso, Hannah Waddington, shame. She won. Jason Sudeikis, who plays Ted Lasso, won as well. The Succession people, I think Succession won. A couple of people from Succession won. Will Smith won for Best Actor, and I told you that he tore that Richard Williams role up. He probably will get an Oscar, that he did the damn thing in that. So I'm very happy for him. He beat out Denzel and a few other people for Best Actor in a movie. But there was a woman who won for Best Director in a movie I have not seen, I will not see, I will not be recommending. I don't know the movie. I've never heard of the movie. I'm not even going to talk about the movie. That's not even the point. So she gets up onto the stage, collects her Best Director's Award. And do we have the whole speech, Smith, or you just had the part where she disrespects Venus and Serena? Just the part? All right. Well, y'all can go listen to the whole speech, which who cares? Because I'm not watching the movie, and I don't care that she directed and did the screenplay and all that. Bah. Her name is Jane Campion. She's an H away from being a champion because she's an H away from being a champion. But this is what she had to say.
Give my love out to my fellow, the guys. The nominees, and you know, Serena and Venus, you are such marvels. However, you do not play against the guys like I have to.
Who's going, yeah, mixed doubles much, you bunch of ignorant ass people yelling and screaming and cheering for that? And it is, you know, it's those well-meaning, because, you know, Jane Campion is not a racist. I don't have a racist bone in my body. I'm not a racist. I love the blacks. I love the blacks. I love them. They're just so amazing. This is the thing. This is the thing that you don't see in yourself, you know, and this is the problem, because I'm sure before this moment, Jane Campion would probably think of herself as very liberal-minded. I have a Black Lives Matter sign on my thing. I marched with the people for George Floyd's. I love the blacks. I love them. But to accept an award and then rope them into your conversation, and in your mind, somewhere you found an insult to be able to say that out of your mouth. You've never competed against the men. But that's not even the point. Venus and Serena had nothing to do with your situation. Y'all in different sports altogether. And Reese Colbert gathered them up. So I'm not here to gather her up, only to say that Jane Campion is the poster person for what it looks like in many spaces in this country, particularly in corporate America. It's the microaggressions, it's the well-meaning, backhanded compliments that are actually insults, you know, like you're so articulate and all that stuff, which is why I try sometimes to be as inarticulate as possible. And then I dare you to challenge me intellectually. I will hurt your feelings. But it's like, however I express myself has nothing to do, like, you need to be able to see the fullness, which is what I was able to see this weekend. I'm talking about not just doctors, because there were a lot of doctors, not just nurses, because there were nurses that teach nurses at the Healthy Wealthy Wise. There were teachers that teach teachers. Do you understand what I'm saying? Truck drivers, engineers, electricians, all manner of people who do all sorts of things, even listen to Rick Springsteen and do yoga. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're people that have a range of things, and not just like anybody else, because there's a special hardiness to a being that has had to endure, not just the I'm not even going to go back 400 years, but have had to endure jumping off of a curb to make way for you, or to endure your child's safety not being safe and ended up in the Tallahatchie River for whistling at somebody, or having to endure being called boy, or having to endure being called gal when you're in your 60s, or having to not say anything, go to schools that have pages missing from books and be taught by some of the most brilliant people in the world who could have been at the PhD Harvard level, but for racism are relegated to HBCUs in places that are deemed inferior, but are not, because you actually produce super powered people, because that is the formula, I believe, for making a diamond. What is it? It's pressure. Pressure makes a diamond. And if your only pressure, Jane Campion, is having to compete with men to do films in your privileged seat of being Missy Ann at the seat of privilege, then you need to be quiet. All of you. Jane Campion, that's the new Karen. Because that's the one that is so much more damaging than somebody that picks up the phone and calls the police on somebody minding their business. Jane Campion is generational. That's the generational insult that tears at your very fiber, your very being, your very sense of self, makes you doubt who you are every day. That's the problem. That's the problem. Not the overt, I'm calling the cops because I'm that Jane Campion. That's the problem. Don't be a Jane Campion. 866-801-8255. I'm sure she means well. On the other side of that, Naomi Osaka, another brilliant, amazing tennis player. There's a lot of people telling her, she's so sensitive because, she broke down into tears. Now, I used to be in that camp. So I'm going to talk about my evolution as a human being. Because I was raised in a household with a very tough father who, it has made me callous in some areas, and the callous has been worn down, to be honest with you, sitting on these airways, because you get to see and hear stories and you get to feel people's pain and you get to see the range of humanity, and it forces you to look inside yourself to find you in them. You have to find you in them. That's the thing I think a lot of people don't do. You have to find somebody else inside of you to make that connection. And I've been forced to do that. And it feels good. Let me just say that, I consider myself tough. There's not too many things that will break me down, and I'm not going to, and that's who I am. But Naomi Osaka's made differently, and that's good. That's fine. But I was thinking about this, and I tweeted this, there's more commentary about Naomi Osaka breaking down on the tennis court crying than there was of the person that would come to a tennis match to heckle somebody. That's the problem in society. Not Naomi Osaka's sensitivity. The person that will come and can't do what a Naomi Osaka could do, couldn't pick up a tennis ball, but you got something to say about how horrible somebody is, and you're not out there. You're not a champion. You haven't won anything. You're sitting in the stands. You're buying a ticket to watch her play, but you got something to say. That's the problematic person. Naomi Osaka's sensitivity to somebody calling her out of her name is something we all feel. Some of us, and this is the thing that I'm talking about, some of us stuff it down, walk around, but we're calloused over. We're calloused over. And maybe it's good because it's protection. But I love that she wears her emotions on her sleeves, because that means she's a human being who feels. She feels. And that's what's missing right now. We don't feel enough. So shout out to her. I'm going to play what she said after her match, which I think she came back from against Veronika Kurtamitova. Play it, Smith.
Yeah, I feel like I've cried enough on camera, but I just wanted to say, yeah. To be honest, I've gotten heckled before, like it didn't really bother me, but it's like heckled here. Like I've watched a video of Venus and Serena getting heckled here, and if you've never watched it, you should watch it. And I don't know why, but like it went into my head and it got replayed a lot. I'm trying not to cry. But I just wanted to say thank you and congratulations. Yeah, just thank you.
So she was also thinking about Venus and Serena. She wasn't just crying for herself. I love that she's on the forefront of that. I love that she's on social media. I love that she triggers so many people. You keep doing what you do. Keep crying and winning and playing, Naomi Osaka. I'm here for it.